So let's maybe move into our special guest, Gonzalo Deza. You want me to get my hand off your leg?
Yeah, please. I'm actually going to move away from game and go towards movies. There you go. For you.
Really? We can leave then.
Yeah. Come on, you guys like movies as well.
Yes, I do. Hit us with. We've done movies.
Movies. Let's do movies.
So I was watching last night Inside Out, the new Pixar movie.
Yep.
And I was just enjoying the movie. It's a beautiful storytelling, beautiful characters, beautiful design. Everything is beautiful. And then it gets to a certain point of the movie when you actually start pretty much watching someone else play a game. That's the only way that I can describe it. There are all these actions and things going on that is like, whoa, just tell me something. I'm seeing actions and actions that look like someone is playing a game. And nothing else is happening. And then one of the characters of the movie says, "Oh no, another interactive action," or something like that. And it's like, I think, well, this is actually the film industry screaming out loud, stop it. Stop mixing things up. Let me tell a story without actually showing people how the game of this movie is going to be. So have you guys noticed that in any other movie?
So you're talking about the foreshadowing of the game that they want to make after they've made the movie, exactly. And that there are elements that are existing within the movie that they've sort of already know about that are going to be in the game, that they've sort of ham-fisted into the movie.
I mean, exactly. They've been scripted into the movie, so when you play the game, you're playing something silly like jumping.
And it brings you back to the same feeling of when you watch the movie, because those exact same sort of gamey elements you were talking about, they're already in the movie. And why are they in the movie?
When they have absolutely no drama, action in it, they're just pointless.
I can't say I've never thought about it that way, but yeah, I can't think of it.
First thing that pops into mind is things like where they have they'll have the movie and then they'll have the spin-off game, or they'll start putting you'll be playing the game but you can grab your tablet out and use it as the map and have multiple screen interaction. Yeah. That's the first thing that pops into my mind when I see something like that. Like if you download the app, you'll be able to get so and so and this. Is that kind of what you mean?
No, I'm just thinking of when you see certain games that are based on movies. For instance, when the same happened when I was watching the movie Jurassic World. There are certain parts of the movie where a character needs to go from A to B, and they need to run, and they need to dodge these dinosaurs. And then you can see, okay, this scene right here, it's there only because in the movie you're going to be asked to do exactly the same.
In the game, you'll be exactly...
Sorry. So there's no point. There's no real narrative point into putting into the movie. It's just a waste of time. But it's giving you a trailer of how the game is going to be to make the game more exciting, and then you're going to sell games.
So do you really think that they actually make a movie with the game in mind?
Oh, yeah. I'm 100% sure.
Okay. Just trying to think of another... Because I haven't seen Inside Out. So I'm trying to think of another movie to game. Okay, I guess Mad Max is being done at this point. Star Wars is sort of being done. They're coming out at the same sort of time.
Mad Max is totally different from the movie, though.
The game?
Yeah.
I haven't seen.
From what I've been told, I haven't played it.
I've seen screenshots of the game, but I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know.
I guess that would be kind of like a poor example, because the whole movie of Mad Max could be a game straight away.
Yeah, totally. But it's just interesting that that the movie got a revival and there is a game, and that the Star Wars thing's happening and they're all coming out at the same time.
Most blockbusters, they just come out as the movie and then the game straight away.
But I guess if it's an action movie, action lends itself to gameplay, doesn't it?
Yes, that's
so
true.
Maybe it's just they sort of inadvertently offer something that would be perfect for a game.
No. Well, because a lot of people who are into games are also into movies, and so they're all the target audience. So they're gonna see this, and then because a lot of movies to games have a real bad rap. Like they're never really that good, really.
No.
Unless they're a standalone. So if it's a game version of the movie, they're usually terrible games. But now they're doing a lot of spin-offs, or like Mad Max. It's not the same same storyline as the movie. It's actually its own standalone
thing. Yeah.
With the just set in the Mad Max world. How do you feel about movies to games? Do you guys enjoy them?
I don't play them.
No?
Yeah. It's pretty much the same that I get when I watch most of the movies that came out of games, and games that came out of movies that are pretty dodgy. They always treat them like, it's not going to be good, and then you play them or you watch the movie and it's like, I was right.
Yeah.
But some of the ones that are set within the universe, like Shadow of Mordor, we wouldn't have got that if it hadn't been for the movies.
Really? Couldn't have just been any other character?
Well, they probably could have made a... well, yes, of course, it could have been anything else, but it was Lord of the Rings. Yeah. And it was good. I mean, it was almost Game of the Year. That Shadow of Mordor's freaking awesome. So that's a...
but that's a huge spin-off. It's
got nothing to do with the movie.
It's a universe.
It's a separate...
It's like you were saying about how it's just set in the world of.
Exactly.
The Lord of the Rings games that were set based on the movies, were they any good?
They were alright.
I think they were okay.
I enjoyed them.
I remember enjoying them.
But they usually do things where they'll have like scenes from the movie, and then in the movie they'll go to the next scene, but in the game version they'll show the journey on when they got to that next scene. So they like almost fill in the gaps.
I for some reason I keep going back to the past, because games in the past, and I'm talking 90s, 30.
That is the past.
Yeah. Games from movies sucked. They were not realistic, and the old Aliens games, it just didn't feel realistic, and so I'm put off playing into the future. I've never really played any games from movies because I've always worried about having the shitty experience of reliving the movie in a shitty experience. Because I want to relive the movie in a game environment, but they've always been shitty in the past, so I've never really bought any, to be honest. And that because I've got this sort of pairing issue.
It seems to be the preconception, isn't it, or the concept, or whatever it is, the perception. Sorry, that games to movies are shit, and that movies to games are shit. I honestly am struggling right now to think of examples that are shit, because I remember True Lies was awesome. Oh, sorry, I'm more thinking the reverse. I know mainly games to movies are shit. But movies to games, like...
The thing is, but imagine all the Pixar games, well, not all of them, but most of them are just... They feel like part of merchandising. You play the game and it's like,
But I feel like the game still serves its purpose for what it's trying to be.
Which is selling? Just
selling a little sort of 3D platforming game to have a little bit more fun. They're nothing special, but they're not in complete shit, They are, like, because I've played a lot of them, I played Shrek, the game, and I played freaking Open Season, the game.
It's just more merchandise.
When I was working in a gaming store and I had access to all these games, and I just played them for the gamer score and stuff, and I was like, just muck around in the world.
I just wish they would not go into movies. You're gonna make the game later. Okay, the kids are gonna buy it. That's fine. I just feel that if I'm going to watch the movie, I do not want to watch how the game is going to be, because particularly last night, I felt like it was completely unnecessary. I was watching a good movie. It's great, and then there's this scene here that has absolutely no reason to be there.
Oh, right. So they're basically saying you have to play the game to be able to find out what happened?
No. It's just like this. They need to go from A to B to reach this other place. Yeah. So they go through this sequence of scenes, and instead of telling you, I don't know, kind of like evolving the story, you just go through these scenes of, we need to jump here and there.
Like, it actually looks like you're watching somebody play a game.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you think, well, I wonder, why would you do that? Because it doesn't make much sense, unless it's sort of foreshadowing the game for when the game gets released. Yeah, it's odd. Probably a recent sort of development, because I can't think of that really in
I can't think of... I did feel like that when I was watching Jurassic World.
As well, like that scene with on the motorbikes and stuff.
Mm-hmm. But, I don't know. Maybe it's just something that I feel.
That's interesting. Yeah. I'd like to know if that's the case. You know, if they do actually make these movies with the game in mind, and the game actually infiltrates the movie in some way, where they think we want to chuck a sequence in here, which will be in the game, so there's a connection, and they can feel like they've played a part of the movie that they enjoyed. You know, is that something that happens in the storyboarding phase of the movie? You know,
yeah, might be a bit easier with animated films.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I think that they're more that sort of situation where you actually have either a blockbuster or a kids movie, so they know that you want them to buy the game, even if the game is not going to be that huge as a standalone. Then you want them to spend more money on what this franchise is. So it does make sense to try to sell the game on the movie, but it doesn't really make it a better movie.
Well, you were saying before in terms of it being merchandise. I think that's definitely what it'd be, especially with Pixar's. That it'd be like, oh, their kids are going to be watching this movie, their kids are going to enjoy this movie, so we should get them to buy the game.
Yeah.
Where if it was something like, I don't know, maybe Jurassic Park. I think we'll get it's Jurassic Park for children.
No.
Anyway, like or anything. Oh, let's say, say the Saw movies, and they're like, oh, we're going to make a Saw game.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
There probably is a game.
They did make them.
Yeah, no, they did. But I think it works more for Pixar's films, DreamWorks, all those kids kind of films. Not so much for a bit more of a serious film for something like us. Like, I don't think you'll watch it and be like, hey, I would like the game version of this.
And is there a game for Inside Out or whatever it was called?
Yeah, I'm sure there will be.
There will be. They always have games for those movies,
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Interesting.
Right. Awesome.
Okay. Lance!